Since starting university, I have done a variety of editing ranging from video to photo, editing projects from short films to documentaries, posters and photographs. For one of my first professional experience projects, I decided to get involved with the BBC Big Screen. This project entailed filming a selection of sports and putting together a 3-minute video to promote and highlight sports ready for the Olympics in London. My job role for this was editor, therefore it was my responsibility to edit the footage filmed by my crew and work on editing the videos together with graphics and music. It was quite a challenge to begin with, as I was positioned online editor, which meant that I was in charge of putting the graphics and music onto the videos and adding the final touches. However, I ended up being the main editor due to my offline editor having to drop out because of commitment issues. This meant that I had no other editor working on this project, and that the editing decisions became solely on my shoulders. At the time, I have to admit, I felt very anxious and underskilled, as I felt my editing skills were still very basic. However, I was looking forward to the challenge and the opportunity to push myself outside of my normal comfort working conditions. Looking back over this project, I have learnt a lot from editing sport videos especially. Having to do all the editing all myself gave me the chance to build on the skills that I had learnt during the first year. During my editing time, I learnt more about post-production, such as how to use cutaway shots and editing sport footage. I built on my colour correction skills and sound skills. My first video involved editing hockey, and I felt it was extremely difficult because the footage wasn't great and it only gave me a few shots to work with, mainly being filmed in the same or similar angles. I was very worried about this because I didn't feel the rough cut at the end looked good enough to be used by the BBC. After talking to my producer and director, they gave me advice on what I could do to improve it, and this helped a lot because I was able to seek feedback from another pair of eyes. One thing I have learned is that sometimes it's good to take some time away from the project and then come back with fresh eyes and look back over the edit. This way you can see straight away what needs changing and how you can fix it. I did 3 videos in total, each video getting better technically because of what I had learnt from each edit. I also went on a shoot with the team, so this was a great chance to see the footage that I was going to be working with. As an editor, it is a good thing to do as it helps you to visualise what the end product will be and what it will look like. Even if it is a rough idea, it really helped me to be able to input my feedback into how they were being filmed, as I learned what could have been improved through editing the previous videos. I have learnt a lot from editing on this project, most importantly that I can edit. I have a lot more confidence in my editing skills since this project, and now I have a much more positive attitude to developing this further in other projects. I also have a much more professional attitude towards my work. I feel I could now get a brief from a client and be able to get straight on with editing with having no problems. One thing I will definitely take away from this project is that I do not want a career in editing in the future, as I enjoy it and I've learned a lot from it, but it needs a lot of craft and skill to be a good editor, and I feel from working on this project that I don't think it's the right path for me. I would still like to do some more editing in the future and to be able to test and challenge my skills and learn new ways to improve, but it is not something I am looking into going into when I leave university. This project was a much more independent project than the BBC, as I didn't have a team working with me. It was a different experience to what I've had before, but it was very refreshing to be able to do something off my own back. It made me realise that I had a lot more initiative than I first thought. I did everything from organising and working alongside the college students and teachers to film this project. To start with, I was put in touch with Mandy Ingram, who is in charge of the project with Hereward College. From this, we worked out what contributions I could bring to the project. Originally, the project involved taking part in producing a set of photographs of the Hereward students for an exhibition that was being held at Herb Art Gallery in Coventry. I had hoped to build on my photography skills, however, there was 2 photography students working on the project already, so I took a more production approach, focusing on filming the development of the project instead. From being in the studio during the photo shoots with the students to seeing them work at the college and seeing the exhibition be put together at the end, I tried to film as much of this as possible and show the developments throughout the projects, as I wanted to put together a documentary style video to either be presented during the exhibition or for the students to keep and reflect back on. I was also asked to record sound clips to go alongside the photographs for the exhibition. This helped me to use my previous knowledge with using sound equipment, such as a Marantz and a microphone, and this helped me to achieve good quality sound. From the previous experience working with sound, I was able to record the sound clips very confidently, and it felt good to do something where you knew exactly what you were doing. It helps you to have a much more professional mindset, because when you're on a job, you have to do it right, and you have to do it to the highest level that you know how. This is what it means to be a professional. Overall, I learned a lot more from this project, as I had to do everything myself. It was a real insight to how far I have come from the start of my time at university. It helped me to reflect back on the skills I already have and what I could improve on to be a better media producer. For example, camera work. I know I am a good camera operator, but doing this project has made me see how, by experimenting with more camera work, I could really push myself into bigger work and projects in the future. From working alone, I have definitely had a huge eye-opener to how beneficial it is to have a crew with you on shoots. You can't do everything, and production work is all about teamwork. From this, I now have a better understanding to what it is like to independently work and also in a team. I believe that I can work both in a team and independently with a high level of commitment and organisation. This project has taught me that I am very able to succeed in anything I put my mind to. I have the technical skills and organisation skills to produce and direct any project. It's helped me to put everything I have learned up to now into practice and really see how far I have come as a media producer during my 2 years at university so far. Working on smaller projects such as the cathedral videos and Cultural Monday, it was a good opportunity to enhance my technical skills in the areas that I could do. For the cathedral video, I was in charge of sound, and for Cultural Monday, I was in charge of camera work. Both projects gave me a chance to use the skills I have learned and put it into a professional working job outside of university walls. Although it was linked to university, we were working off our own backs and we were in charge of the production. Therefore, we were working in a much more professional controlled environment. I learned more about working in these conditions and what it takes to make a project work, and I learned a lot about myself as a practitioner and the skills that I lack. From this, I worked on my organisation skills, which benefited the future projects that I worked in during this module. I learnt what it takes to be a hard-working producer from working on smaller projects, as it's helped to challenge myself to do bigger things. For example, from this, I've put myself forward to be an assistant director in a feature film, and I have more independent work lined up. It was from doing smaller projects in my personal experience that I realised where my skills lacked and what needed to be improved in order for me to be able. This is probably one of the projects out of all that I have done so far through this Professional Experience Module that I am most proud of. I put myself forward to be first assistant director on a feature film that we are producing in our second year, and I have already learned a great deal about working in film. So far, I have developed better skills in pre-production, as being first AD requires a lot of paperwork, from shooting schedules to call sheets. Everything needs to be organised and planned before shooting can begin. A lot of work has been riding on my shoulders, but I feel I've handled it very well, and I have only received praise so far for my work on The Bogeyman. Being in charge of the crew also brings a lot of responsibility, but I feel, although I'm still learning, that I am someone who can be listened to and respected. I am excited for this project because I am constantly learning from everything that I do, and hopefully it will be something that we can all be proud of at the end. It has made me really consider going into film when I leave university and as a possible career path. I'm not sure yet as to what role I would like to go into, possibly a producer, as I believe I have the skills to do well in this field. I feel this project alone has really made me push myself to do a role I never thought I could do, but I think so far I have done it very well, and I have a lot more faith in myself, knowing I can do much more demanding job roles in the media industry. I have put all I have learnt so far from all these projects that I've done previously, which is now helping me to do much bigger projects, leading me to much higher places. For example, I have put myself down to be a producer for a project called Motion House, which runs from May until July, which could potentially open doors for my future. Everything I have learnt from this module has helped me to go from student to more of a media professional. I haven't yet worked out what I want to do when I graduate and enter the media world, but I've had my eyes open as to what can be achieved and what doors I could possibly go into. So from this, my next steps is just to do more experience and to try and do more projects that will enhance my technical skills, and I can try and work out what I would like to do as a career job.